Nah, it's like that dramatic stuff.
Oh, the kind where I go.
Like the.
Yeah, there you go.
But I was a little bit cooler than that. But
Welcome back, everybody, to another great episode of Careful Boys. We have with us Kristin Farina.
Hey.
Hey, we also have Ed Park over there, by the way.
Hey, thanks for having me.
And Jason, the new hiree.
Yeah, Jason. So we got a hot seat episode right now. We're gonna go ahead and ask Kristin some hot questions. The way that it works is we like to ask increasingly hot questions as we go along, but traditionally we start with Bart, who will ask you the coldest possible thing you've ever heard in your life.
Okay, right now, you're not gonna say shit anymore. Your mouth is now your butthole. And you have diarrhea. What sound does it make? Go. Okay, go.
There couldn't have been a wrong answer to that. That's great. That's very nice.
That's a nice diarrhea sound.
Great icebreakers.
Do I gotta do that the rest of this?
Yeah, speak in diarrhea form. No, so you didn't grow up in LA?
I didn't. I grew up in Wisconsin. Yeehaw.
What part? What part?
Grew up in Milwaukee and then moved about like an hour out in like Waukesha area.
So when you came out here, did your parents come with you, or were you just like, I'm gonna make it in LA?
Yeah, it was one of those situations. So actually, my parents ended up getting a divorce when I was a senior in high school.
Perfect timing.
There was like an affair, like crazy shit going on, and so they were dealing with that whole situation. I had previously been a dancer, was doing that, going to high school and stuff. I didn't really have a college plan yet, but since my parents were doing all that, there was a lot of stuff that happened financially. I didn't have plans for school, and I had to like make the decision. And I was like, if there's one thing I love and know I can do in life, it's dance. So I literally packed up 2 suitcases, flew to LA, and just started figuring it out.
How old were you?
I was 18.
Like when you're on the year, you just turned, you're like,
I was 18, I finished out high school. They were having like the family situations and stuff, and I was like, either I can stay here in Wisconsin, which I didn't really want to be, and kind of just like have a little pity party, go to community college or something, or I was like, I can go do something with my life. So I moved out here, and started figuring it out from there.
So when you got here, what was that like? Did you know people? Did you have jobs laid out for you? Like, what was it? You were just like at LAX, like, here I am.
Kind of.
Tom Bradley.
Kind of actually. So I didn't know people out here. I had this girl, I saw she like posted on Facebook. I kind of knew her from like competing with dance stuff. She used to live in Chicago, but she had lived in LA. I saw she was looking for a roommate. I was like, hey, can I move in? It was a 2-bedroom. There was a couple. And then I took the other room. So I literally got dropped off. They picked me up. Moved into this apartment. I slept on an air mattress for 2.5 years.
Whoa.
Yeah. I had no jobs planned.
Was she like, yo, how are you gonna pay rent?
Yeah. It was like, I obviously didn't prep for all this family stuff to happen, so I wasn't like making money or anything. I ended up like using the connections. I worked for a dance competition when I first moved out here. I made up my own job. I was like, I will film and edit for you. This was before like social media was getting big and stuff, and I didn't want to do a regular job, so I was like, hey, I'll come, I'll film the dance stuff, I'll make like reels. So I taught myself how to edit and all that, so that's how I would make money, is I'd travel on the weekends and do that. One of the first people I met when I moved out here, the girl's boyfriend was an assistant to Philip Shabib. The dancer.
Okay, yeah.
And I like somehow, Philip is like a really big dancer, super talented. I had no clue who he was, but he was like, hey, we need an extra person on set to film a little video. You down to help? So I went and helped, and I met one of the best people I probably could in the dance industry.
Yeah, totally.
And that's like how I met you guys too. Like somehow it just worked out where I found the right network of people right away. Yeah. And these people were a lot older than me, like clearly like 40 years older.
Thank you.
No, and they kind of like mentored me and stuff, so I started figuring it out.
You got pretty lucky, but at the same time, you had to take that leap of faith. You had to do the courageous thing.
Had to get out of there.
To come here.
In the lucky situation.
Right, and that's what people don't know is like a lot of the times they'll just be like, they'll play it off as, oh, that's some girl that just got lucky. But then you still had
Oh, I was like, I was on an air mattress for 2.5 years.
Yeah, you had to hustle.
I have a picture of my room, like it literally was I actually stacked 2 air mattresses. It was like
That's luxury.
I'm like, I was sleeping good.
Comfort hacks.
No, but seriously, I had like nothing, and I just figured it out. The biggest thing, I was like, okay, I know I love people and I love meeting them. I'm just gonna meet everyone I can and try to figure it out. There wasn't really a plan B. I feel like situations like that in life help you get there when there's not really another option. Yeah.
What's the scariest situation, or just like added on together when you were here, like as a circumstance where you like, fuck, there's this time where rent was due but this paycheck couldn't come in, I don't know if I had to go back home, or like what was a serious compounding circumstance that you experienced while
I think if there was one circumstance, I mean, definitely like those first couple of years was tough because I wasn't booking anything. Also, when it comes to dance, I was trained in something completely different than what is typically booked out here. Out here, it's more like commercial stuff. You got hip hop. I'd never really trained in hip hop stuff. I also wasn't like the sexy girl heels video type. Like,
What kind of dance were you doing? Like tap dancing? Like
I started off as a tapper actually.
So like more traditional stuff.
Like contemporary type of stuff.
What's contemporary, like Save the Last Dance?
Did you do that? You just a classical girl trying to date
more
with a
like
hip hop
the
boy?
flowy stuff. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Like,
Oh, it's like the singing in the rain, like that kind of shit?
it's like that. It's like that dramatic stuff.
Oh, the Conroy go.
Like the.
Yeah, there you go.
But I was a little bit cooler than that. But then I met these guys and they were doing like cool hip hop shit, and I was like, okay, let me learn that, and that's actually how I booked the first national commercial. Yeah,
Nice.
But I don't know, circumstance. I'm trying to think if there's
Did you ever like you hit rock bottom ever?
When the shit
rock
was hitting the
bottom
fan
situation.
the hardest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that was like that. I think like the second month of me living out here, it kind of was like, what the fuck is happening? Because my family life was insane back home, and I kind of just wanted to escape from that. I also moved out here like in August. I didn't know people leave during the holiday months.
Oh.
So all my roommates had left.
Oh damn, that's
Because that no one's really like from here.
I didn't know the city yet. I didn't have a lot of money. I didn't have a car. Thank God I had an apartment, but when everyone left to like go home to their families and stuff, it was like November, December, January. I basically stayed in my apartment for like 2 months straight. I barely left, and I feel like how we were talking about when you're alone.
Yeah.
Like I swear I was kind of like mentally going insane a little bit because like there were so many unstable parts of my life, and I was there alone. It kind of like it was the culture shock, like what's happening.
Quarantine before quarantine.
Yeah, basically.
But did you have friends like come out to visit you during that time
No.
from Wisconsin?
No.
Because I've been in that
I didn't have friends
situation
or
too.
anything.
My first year moving here, same thing. Everybody went home for the holidays, and I wasn't gonna go home. I stayed here, and I did the Harry Potter marathon first, and then luckily I had a friend who didn't want to be with their family for the holidays,
Yeah.
so we just chilled down. Like,
Yeah, I feel like you slowly just meet people. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a mixing pot of people, so it helped over time. Like I started building my foundation and family out here, but I feel like initially that it's just tough, you know.
We
But-
do create a second family out in LA a lot. Like there's like always like, well, I mean like I knew you guys back then. Well, you've been to one of our Friendsgivings and shit, but we always try to create something because half of the team was out of state.
Yeah.
And it's the same reason because there's so many people here for entertainment. Like we're actually local. Like we born and raised here in this area, and I always forget how many people come here for work,
right.
and then their actual home is like far away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy is like, did I meet you within that time that you were?
I had probably been out in LA for maybe a year, so I was actually still struggling a good amount when you guys met
crazy.
me. I was pretty good at putting a front on it, but I feel like that's why I attached so much to your group and like looked up to you guys.
Dude, that's
because
so weird because
Yeah.
she didn't show.
I didn't show
any
it,
of that.
But I feel like that's also part of it too that got me through is like I wasn't gonna settle and like live in that state. Like I was
Yeah.
like trying to like, you know, surround myself with people that I want to be like, and
Yeah.
not let that consume me, you know?
Yeah, because our
But
impression...
it was during that time.
That's crazy. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Because she really, like, when we met her, we were like, yo, she's so cool because her sense of humor is super open and she's just so goofy. And I would have never thought that was, like, a hard time.
Yeah.
Who's your role model in your family? Is there someone in your family that, like, did well and you're like, and that kind of was your inspiration to crush it?
Yeah, I would say...
Or is everyone like a Wisconsin loser?
No. I think my family... I know my family had issues. I know, Wisconsin sucks. I got out of there so quick. I think individually, like, each member of my family is great. There's just, like, some stuff that happened. I really look up to my dad because he was a lieutenant. And...
In the military or?
No, police officer. He was a lieutenant. He kind of was, like... the hero in that sense, and he retired early, and he was the one. He'd drive me an hour and a half to studio to dance every day when I was in school. So like I owe that to him. He was very supportive with that. But I feel like right now, if there's a superhero in my family, it's probably my sister. My sister kind of did the same thing. There was a lot going on at home, so she ended up moving to Atlanta. She got pregnant pretty early. She has 2 kids now, and she got pregnant before she got married. She like went through a tough time with that. Her son is autistic, her first kid she had, and she was young, so just seeing her like raise him and like be strong and kind of like take care of everything in that sense. She also was the person that like I kind of escaped and ran out here and chased my dreams, but she stayed home during all of that and kind of mediated everything, so she's pretty great.
Is she your older sister?
Yeah, she's my older sister. She's probably like 4 years older than me.
Yeah. Damn.
Is this hot seat or tissue seat? Small violin.
Tissue seat. Damn.
So what, how long you been in LA for?
I've been here almost 6 years now.
So during that, I guess, climb, right? Like you're obviously achieving a lot of things that you came out here to do. Do you ever kind of feel like, oh shit, I'm doing what I wanted? Or like, you know, do you ever take a moment to like look at that or like?
Yeah, I am super humble and grateful for like everything that I've done and the opportunities that I've gotten, because it did take a while to start booking and stuff, but once I did, like there have been so many things I've always dreamed about that I've just like checked off the list. And when you're in that moment, it's kind of like, if you guys know how it is, but it feels a little bit surreal, like this is happening, but like just taking a step back and be like, this is what I wanted and I worked for this and now I'm getting what I deserve. I also think it does get hard too, because when you start booking, you're in that mindset, you kind of like keep striving for more, which I think is great, but also like along the way just appreciating what you've done. But I've accomplished a ton and you know, I'm grateful for that.
What was it like seeing yourself on TV for the first time?
Yeah, that was crazy. It was so cool. It was a big fuck you to everyone at home. You can't make this. Yeah.
I was just gonna ask what your friends back home think.
Yeah. But no, it was so like doing TV stuff. When I was on World of Dance, that was the first TV show I did. I actually, my dad for a minute, like he supported dance, but I feel like he fully, you know, I was having a tough time out here and, you know, wasn't really booking a lot of stuff yet, and I don't think he really saw dance as a career, but he ended up flying out and watching a live taping.
Oh, that's dope.
And like, you know, he's like in the crowd, like sitting next to J-Lo, and he's like, okay. Like he kind of started to see what I was doing, so I think that was a really cool moment for me in my career.
That's cool.
Through all your accomplishments, do you deal with imposter syndrome?
What do you mean by that? Sorry if I feel dumb.
Imposter syndrome is where you're just kind of like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, I don't deserve this. Like, how am I in this position with all of this greatness? Or do you feel you're in the right?
I'm in the right spot because I feel like when you like work your ass off and you know the goal before you're there and then you achieve it, it's different than like things just happening. You know, it's not like everything was great and like I had a rich family and I came out here and I'm dancing and like, wow, I got all these jobs and have these connections. Like it really did take a lot of work and a lot of time to make things happen. So I don't think I've really had much of that. I have had like, sometimes like like, what the fuck am I doing? You know what I mean? Because I feel like doing so many different things like social media and dance stuff, but I never think it's in a negative sense.
So then, referring back to your fuck you to Wisconsin,
Oh yeah.
did you have a lot of people discourage you from coming out to LA and saying this is a crazy idea, this is dumb, like?
Yeah, I also didn't really listen to it. I think people that come from other places, especially a place from Wisconsin, they see what they're around. You know, Wisconsin's very much a place where, you know, you grow up with your family, you go to school, go to college, you get married to your high school sweetheart, you have kids 3 doors down from your parents, like everyone kind of stays there. Yeah. So I definitely think people were a little bit like, what is she doing? But I didn't listen to any of that because, you know, at the end of the day, it's my life. I'm gonna chase what I want and make a career.
Fuck the Wisconsin losers.
I mean, there's other people that did stuff, but I think just like majority, that just wasn't for me, not the lifestyle I wanted.
When you got into social media and then you started your TikTok and then that blew up, did you ever feel the pressure of having to like keep doing content and constantly having to make stuff for that?
Yeah, I feel like burnout is definitely a thing. You guys know how it is, even though you're crushing it, you know? Burnout is a huge thing.
It's just like, no.
You're like, no, we're not. I don't know, I think so.
We're being crushed.
Just...
We crushed it for a moment and got tired.
Yeah.
We're crumbling it, not crushing it.
I feel like constantly just being on camera and creating content. I mean, you know how it is, like always being on camera and stuff. I think I learned that a lot with the injury when I fell off the roof and I had dance taken away from me and I didn't really feel like creating because I wasn't like doing much. I feel like you need that break sometimes. Like I can't always be on camera. Like sometimes I just want to live a little bit. So I feel like there's a balance, you know, treating it almost as work and then having my downtime because you can't burn yourself out.
Can you rewind a little bit? You fell off a roof.
Oh, you haven't been here.
No, that's great. Yeah, please get into that.
I was in Miami. Yeah, sorry. I forgot you weren't here.
Shit.
Yeah. I was in Miami at an Airbnb, and there's a rooftop, like a little ladder to get to the rooftop. I'd go up there and like look at the city every night. There was one night I was coming down the ladder and my hand slipped and I fell 15 feet backwards on the concrete. And I broke 6 bones all in my arm, dislocated my shoulder, sprained my back. It was Christmas Eve, I was in the hospital. So it was about like a year of recovery. So during that year, talk about another hard time, like that for me, cause you know me, I was like, go. I was constantly doing things, like I love that. I love working hard, I love dancing, I love making things happen. For it all to be stripped away, I was kind of like, what is going on, you know? A little bit of like what's left and having to like figure out how to deal with that and appreciate other things in my life besides like being successful and working hard and dancing stuff. But yeah, I fell off a roof.
Yeah. What was the thing that got you out of that? Like, because I know how that's like to be injured and you can't dance and you're just watching everything move past you as you're just chilling. What got you to keep going after you got better?
It was actually really tough, and I feel like I'm still kind of in that phase.
Even though you're 100% healed?
Yeah, no, I think it's more the mental aspect of it. Because when you have everything stripped away and you see these people succeeding and doing stuff, I didn't do anything for a year, and I am that type of person, like, you know, I want to do things, and I have big goals and things I want to achieve in my life. So for that to be paused, it definitely was really tough. I also got a little bit comfortable, and then just the big leap, it feels like, okay, let's get back into this, let's do all this extra work to get back all like these tricks and stuff and get my body back to that. It definitely was like a hard transition. I feel like I'm still kind of going through that, but definitely on the up of it to like get back to like constantly doing things, because when you don't do anything and get comfortable, it's hard to get back into it, at least for me personally.
Yeah. It's almost like a domino effect. Like you got to do one and it snowballs, right? Yeah. But then if you just stop, then like to get that, it's like an old car. You got to vroom.
Best friend in life. Like when you have that momentum and it's going good. Yeah. Like to build it back up, it takes time and.
Yeah. Also for Kristin, like she's, in my opinion, like she's doing, when she was like really doing everything, that's way more than an average dancer would do anyways.
What do you mean by that? Can you paint a picture of like what dancers do? Because I think dancers dance a lot.
So there's some dancers that are more involved in like auditioning and just doing like hired work, and then there's other dancers who are proactive about going out and just collaborating with everyone that could possibly partner with them, and then there's others that are doing social media and more focused on that. She was just all of the above, yeah, and all the time, and a very she before you like if I had something to offer, I'm like, hey Kristin, there's this job. She'd be like, yeah, let's do it, let's fucking do it, and like it's not one of those people that goes, tell me the rates and tell me what I have to do. Like she's like, all right, what day?
Very
down.
go-getter. Like I'm down.
That's badass.
So I used to hit her up all the time because I'm like, yo, I got the perfect person for you. Because sometimes a lot of people don't know what they want when they need a dancer, and it's like Kristin's perfect then because she'll adapt.
I was training in all styles. Like I was creating, I was collaborating. Like I don't know. It was like a superhero type thing. Like I'm really proud of that way I used to live, and I'm getting back into it though. You know what I mean? I also feel like that's kind of just like an innate quality in myself.
So do you ever feel like you're never stretched too thin?
Oh no, I definitely get stretched thin sometimes, but just learning when to step back. I think that comes with age too, because also when you knew me, I was like 19, 20, that kind of age. Like the older I get, like there's definitely priorities. You have to take care of yourself, but I feel like that's a great mentality to have in life, to just like go after what you want and do cool things.
A lot of people redline up until their 50s and then they die. Like redlining, I think that personality, like it's like so fun that you don't know your limits. So everything is yes, let's go.
Yeah.
And then you don't really know like you need a little rest or mental break or
sure,
anything. Because it is fun. Yeah. Like everything is like, I remember when we were redlining, it was 3 hours of sleep a night, but then everything was just so exciting that and also it feels bad to say no because your friends are up for it, or the money's so damn good and you never had a taste of that before. And I do miss it. I miss redlining.
What does redlining mean?
Or like pushing yourself to beyond your limits every day, and you think you could do more and more.
Maximizing every single hour of your day and your week and your month to the point where you like let's say if my mom wanted to have dinner with me and we live in the same city, I'm like, you need to tell me 4 weeks in advance. I'm like, it's impossible. Like there's no way I can. What do you mean you want to have dinner like this Saturday?
You might be hopping from one gig to another or doing 2 gigs simultaneously at the same time. But I complained less during that time. I felt, I probably had no time to complain.
It also got you to where you are though. And I feel like there's a healthy balance.
There's a balance.
And that's what I learned from it was two extremes. Like I was doing that extreme thing that we're just talking about, like go, and then to complete nothing for a year. So now I appreciate that experience and why that happened, because it taught me that I do need breaks and need to take care of my body and slow down, and kind of can balance both of those things.
Yeah.
Do you only climb ladders with gloves on now? Just to make sure you stick better?
Are you afraid of heights, by the way, after that?
No, I mean, I still went to Mexico the other.
Yeah, right. She's still doing giant-ass water slides.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yo, Mexico theme parks are on another level, dude. They have...
Theme park? Oh, I've only done water park.
It's crazier, though. Things are just crazier.
Yeah. I feel like...
There's no rules.
Out of everything you did, I think you're in a great position to give advice to, new dancers coming to town, because I feel like in your first years, you did exactly what everyone's too afraid to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, everyone's too scared to, meet the amount of people you met and do the amount of work you did. Like, that's the fastest and most I've seen anybody do everything at once.
Yeah,
you really.
And I think a part of it too, I always give advice to people that are moving out here, especially dancers, is finding people that are the best at what they do and just learning from them, offering even free work and just surrounding yourself by that, because you learn so quick from it. And also, fuck the regular path. I think that's why Philip helped me and you guys helped me, because there is this structured out dancer path. You move to LA, you get your agent, you go to auditions, self-tapes. That was not me at all. And it's doing what you want to do and kind of creating your own path into becoming whatever you want to be. Instead of cookie cutter.